Well, look, you got a situation where what the Russians did in 2016 is very, very serious stuff. We pride ourselves. What are we as a nation? If we don't have democracy, if we don't have the right to cast ballots that are secure, if we're not living in a free country. And Putin, not only in the United States, by the way, but all over Western Europe, is trying to disrupt democracy. He's an autocrat. He doesn't believe in democracy. He's trying to divide our people up in very, very ugly ways. That is an enormously serious attack against the American people. As President of the United States, that will end. Russia will not interfere in our elections.
The overall tone of what you say were attacks on you were not just about you because they want to be the front runner, not you. It was about you as an existential threat to the Democrats and the notion of trying to beat Donald Trump. And I'm just wondering how you combat that, not only on the presidential level, but also down ballot. I mean, I know I've heard from lots of Democrats who are focused on and even themselves trying to win again in suburbs who are freaking out.
Well, Dana, look, let's be clear. The establishment is freaking out. The corporate media, to a larger degree, is freaking out. As you're aware, some really horrific things have been said about me on at least one television channel. The establishment is worried. Wall Street is worried. The drug companies are worried. The insurance companies are worried. The fossil fuel industry is worried. And you know what? They should be worried. But here is the point. In the last 50 polls that have been done nationally, guess what? Bernie Sanders beat Donald Trump 47 times out of 50. I will beat Trump. In battleground states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, just look at the polling this last weekend. I beat Trump. The way you beat Trump, in my view, is to have the largest voter turnout in the history of this country. And if you run a campaign in the same old way that we have run it in the past, if there's not energy and excitement, if you're not getting working class people to get involved in the political process, if you're not bringing millions of young people into the political process, and we are doing that, I think Trump is going to win.
And just to be even more specific, Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House because the Democrats won the suburbs.
Right.
And there is a lot of concern that Bernie Sanders at the top of the Democratic ticket means bye-bye to the suburbs. It's not about the corporate, structure or so forth. It's about the demographics of the suburbs.
No, I think, again, we might want to listen to the people. And the people voted for me in Iowa, New Hampshire, and in Nevada. And I think we're going to do very well in the coming elections. I think too often we have leadership that is isolated from where real people are. And if we're going to beat Trump, we need a powerful message that says, you know what? We need an economy and a government that works for everybody, not just the 1%. We don't talk about this on corporate media very often. We don't talk about it in the Congress very often. But there is something wrong when after 45 years of an increase in productivity and technology, the average American worker is not making a nickel more than he or she did 45 years ago. When in the last 3 years, the billionaires of this country have seen an $800 billion increase in their wealth, while last year the average American worker saw a 1% increase in his or her income. We need fundamental changes. We need a government that works for all, not just the Michael Bloombergs of the world or wealthy campaign contributors.
So, Marco Rubio's campaign manager wrote an op-ed the other day, and it was interesting. It started off describing a fiery septuagenarian who calls out the corporate media, who comes in second in Iowa, first in New Hampshire.
I know where you're going on that.
Okay. Is there something that you share? When you talk about the polls or you talk about the corporate media, that you're tapping into the same things that he tapped into successfully?
Look, I have spent my whole life doing the best that I could fighting for justice. When I was a kid, I think I was 21 years of age, I was arrested in the city of Chicago, opposing segregated housing, was involved in the civil rights movement. When I became a member of Senate, I went to Immokalee, Florida to stand with undocumented workers who were getting ruthlessly exploited, and we had some impact on that. That's what I've done. I've been on more picket lines probably than everybody on that stage. Come on, that is what I do. That is what my life is about. And I think at the end of the day, people in this country will understand that Donald Trump is a fraud. He told the working people of this country in 2016 that he would provide health care to everybody. You covered that, right? That's what he said. And he tried to throw 32 million people off the health insurance that they have. He said his tax bill would not benefit the rich. 83% of the benefits of that bill went to the top 1% over a 10-year period. He said he wouldn't cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. That is what his budget has done. He is a fraud. And if I'm the Democratic nominee, I will expose him for the fraud he is. He is not a friend of working people. He represents his own class, which is the billionaire class.
So when Amy